What's going on, guys? Coach Respect, the wise guy, on Instagram and on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, comment below, and let's connect. So, quick live here. Whoever jumps in, or if you're watching this later, comment below. Let's have a conversation about selling books on Amazon in Canada. I know quite a few sellers who sell books on Amazon in Canada that I've met over the years. I've never seen or heard of sellers not making money selling books. If you're a seller who's tried the book niche and it didn't pan out, be interested in knowing about that, how come or why. But pretty much all the sellers that I've talked to over the years all seem to make money selling books on Amazon. Now, keep in mind, Amazon and books go hand in hand. Amazon has put a lot of small businesses out, not to chuckle, but a lot of small businesses out of business just because of their dominance in the book selling niche. So, let's talk about books. Let's talk a little bit about a book business and what it encompasses. Let's talk a little bit about how much money you can make, maybe based on how much inventory you would gather or grow to. And let's talk about some of the tools that you would use selling books. And then let's talk about ways to find and where to find inventory. Now, these are all off the top of my head. I may get to those, I might not. Again, if you have any questions, some of the good influencers on books that I follow, obviously everybody knows Reezy Resell, though he's in the USA, has excellent information on book selling. So hit him up on Instagram, check him out, check his videos out on YouTube. Roam the Roamer grinds hard. He's an awesome follow, very interesting, but he'll spend hours scanning thousands and thousands of books a day. Everyday FBA. Again, these guys are all based out of the US. If you're in Canada and you sell books, comment below, throw your Instagram hashtag or your Instagram tag in the comment section below so that people can follow you in the content that you put out about books. My history with book selling is limited in that I never really went into used books. I started and I teach my students to start with what I call a book arbitrage, whereby you'll go through your own library in your home, or if your mom or your dad or your friends or your brother or sister or whatever want to let you sell their books as well. As much as you can get your hands on, I always recommend my students, one of the first things they do, their first shipments to Amazon, is a book arbitrage. So essentially scanning books in your home with your Amazon scanner in the Amazon app is the tool that I recommend for beginners. Scan the books, ones that are profitable. If they're going to net you $3 profit or more, I'd say send those in, especially if the price is, a good price in the used category. Then write a condition that sells people on the book. There are strategies on what condition and what notes to put in that condition box. When I first did it, I didn't put a condition. I just scanned them in. I didn't put condition notes, but I just chose a condition of the book. So good condition, like new, whatever the book qualifies for. Amazon have a great section in Seller Central on what condition to choose based on the condition of the book. So you can quickly read that. It's super quick read, and that will help you choose the books and put them in the proper condition so that they sell. Pricing your book doesn't always have to be the lowest. Keep in mind, in the used book section, there's going to be multiple sellers, anywhere from 20, 10, 30, 40, 50, just depends. 5, prices will vary based on the condition of the book. So if yours is in new condition or like new condition, then you can charge more for the book, especially if the demand is there. Look at all the other sellers, see what their conditions are like, what they're selling them for, and what they've written up, if they've written up any extra notes. And you'll want to play off of their pricing and price yours accordingly. The types of books to sell, I mean, obviously there's fiction and nonfiction and cooking and celebrity and textbooks, and I mean, the list goes on. Self-help books are a lot of the books that I had originally. I had a few hundred self-help books, and just other books, fitness books that I've collected over time. I also got my hands on a few hundred health and fitness books that were being given away, thrown away essentially, all brand new. So I was able to luck out and get my hand on a few hundred books that were in new condition. Just had to remove the stickers, send those in. Getting your hands on books is going to be, especially if you're focusing on used, is going to be one of the primary things you're going to have to spend time figuring out. Your area is going to be different than other sellers' area, so you're not really going to be able to, utilize a lot of their information other than general information like thrift stores and the different types of stores that you'll source books from. But I mean, the sky's the limit. If you're in a big city, then you won't have any issue. Obviously, places like libraries, thrift stores, used stores are all great places to source books. Um, Personally, I only did a book arbitrage, so essentially a home one. Some of my family members' books, like I said, some of the books I initially was hooked up with. Those were the only used books I sent in. After that, for me, I did a lot of new book sales in that I got my hands on bulk inventory of brand new books and just started moving into the new book category, and really was able to grow my book inventory up to around 700 different titles, up and around there. I would say was probably where I peaked out at, which is actually really good for a new book inventory, um, in my estimation. I don't know if that's true. There's probably booksellers out there going, I have 10,000 books, Chris. Um, you know, for me, it was good because I do average about $100 in profit from book sales per day. I know that's not a lot for book enthusiasts who sell on Amazon, but again, it's not my primary, it's not my secondary, it's not my third business for selling on Amazon. So keep that in mind. I don't focus on it a lot, but I do understand the niche a lot. I just, you got to commit your time to where you want to work and what you're passionate about. For me, it's the private label section of my business. For me and my wife as a team, it's retail arbitrage and sourcing, toys and commodities and, all the other products that you would find in a home from stores and reselling them on Amazon. So those are the two. Now, I've had a few students ask me about books, so I thought, you know what, this is a great time to do a book video and chat with you guys about books. Let me see if there's anything here. If you're watching right now, smash that like button. Thanks, guys. Smash that like button. Click subscribe right now. If you aren't following me, click that subscribe button. But if you have a question or comment, leave it in the chat right now. Let's chat. But yeah, I've really just stayed consistent with a decent book inventory. I just feel it's good to have that extra flow of money coming in. We're gonna launch my son pretty soon. He's turned 19, and in BC, you got to be 19 to sell on Amazon. We figured out actually a few years ago when he was around 16 that you had to be 19 to do it. So he'll go live, and we have a bunch of new books that we decided when we bought them new that they weren't qualified to be new, for whatever reason. So we're going to turn those into used inventory and give it to him to launch his business. And I tell all new sellers, launch your business with books, and any other unopened stuff that you have in your home. Always do a home arbitrage first and foremost, because Reezy's right. If you watch a video that I just posted, I took a couple clips from some great Instagram videos from some of the guys that I follow, threw them on the end. Reezy's right. It teaches you not, it doesn't, selling books on Amazon doesn't only help you make money, but it also teaches you how to use Amazon, how to list the product, how to navigate the back end of Amazon. So it's a great learning tool, selling books as well. But obviously, we're in it for the money. So sourcing used books. My student who I just was chatting with today, gave her the idea of, well, let's look at used books as a way for you to get the benefits of selling on Amazon. Let's experience those benefits right away. And any seller will tell you the greatest way to do that is to get books out there, because you can find them quick, you can scan them quick, you can see that there's good profit on there quick, and books do have a pretty decent turnaround as far as sales on Amazon. So jump out there, go get books, is what I said to her. And she's already out there scanning books anyway. She sent me a couple copies to look at the numbers and look at the ranks and all that type of stuff that play a part in selecting the book that you would send out to Amazon. And they looked great. The books that she was sourcing already had really good numbers. So the challenge and the kind of the homework I gave her was, why don't you go and source 100 books this week, and invest in some inventory, then send that inventory to Amazon next Friday, and I'll join you. I'm going to go and source 100 used books specifically this week. And between her and I in our chat, we're going to just keep each other informed on things like where we were buying and what we bought and the different profits and the volume and all that type of stuff, and just keep that dialogue between each other. And you know what? I've never launched a used book. Who knows? I know my wife is interested in starting up that part of our business. It's something that she wants to do. So we'll throw that out there, and it'll be interesting for me to actually get out there and do used. I do have a little bit of time to do that. I think in the next 5 days, I'll find all 100 titles. And then we'll see what I get. But, let's talk about the tools that you need. I mean, obviously, as a bookseller, and, Rome the Roamer said it best. He scanned 10,000 books literally a day, on any given day. You're not going to be able to get through that kind of volume using the Seller Central app. You are going to need a pro scanner, a device that allows you to scan the barcodes at rapid rates. You're going to need some sort of seller IQ. So you're going to need something, Scout IQ, or something to help you index those books and give you good feedback on if the book is valuable or not, if the book is going to make you money or not. Peppa Pig, yeah, I sell Peppa Pig. Good choice. So those are things that you'll need if you're going to end up getting into a large volume book business, especially a used book business. You're going to need scanning tools and a scanning app. You're going to need one that is, if you're in Canada, you're going to need one that has the metrics for Canada. Not all of them do. So those are things that, again, go check out, or anybody who's selling books in Canada, if you have any recommendations on the tool that people would buy. If Scout IQ, I think it's called Scout IQ, is a good tool or software to use in Canada, or any other software that you would say is a good book software in Canada, throw it in the comment section below, and help anybody out who's watching this video right now about books. But if you then can run that type of volume while scanning books, if you can scan that type of volume you're going to start to find a lot more profitable books if you start running. I've never ever scanned probably more than 100 books in a given day. Again, the only tool I use is a Seller Central app, and that is it. So, for me, if and my wife, if we find that we want to do used books, we want to start that, we want to grow our inventory to a couple thousand titles, we would invest in a scanner in a heartbeat. And I just saw a comment here. Um, Anidza Liam says, with a ℸ𝕻𝕚 scanner and Scoutify. Anidza, are you in Canada? I imagine you are. Is that that's the advice you're given? So ℸ𝕻𝕻 ℸ𝕻𝕻 scanner. I'll have to look that up. Thank you for that tip. And Scoutly, SCOUTLY, and a ℸ𝕻𝕻 scanner. Yeah, is a ℸ𝕻𝕻 scanner just as small as like your phone? I heard most of the scanners are kind of pretty tiny now. There were a few I screenshot, and I heard Reezy talk about, um, that he recommends. But throw a link, and if you have an affiliate link or whatever, sure, share that link as well. To if it's an affiliate link for Amazon, you want to throw that in the link, throw that in the comment section as well. Scoutly Online, not the database. Use the web based for Scoutly, which is awesome. A web based program would be great, and I'm sure it obviously connects to your Amazon Seller Central account. And Nidza is from Montreal, right on. So, two good tools there. Thanks for the recommendation. Um, Curious, what kind of volume and inventory do you have for your books? Are you in the thousands of titles, or what's your book inventory, and what would you say you make per day from your book sales? Few of the sellers that I know, actually, Nicole just messaged on the last video that popped up. She's one of the girls that ramped up quickly to, I want to say, over 1,000, maybe close to 2,000 books in a span of maybe 6 months, or a little bit more than that, title wise. And I think she had days where she was making $150. And it fluctuates. Obviously, you're not going to make that every day. Sometimes you'll drop to 50, and maybe sometimes you'll have a really good day, and certain months are better than other months, of course. So there's high lows, just like the stock market, when selling books. And it really comes down to how good you are at finding titles. After my conversation with my student today, and we were talking about, I was just giving her examples of some of the ways I found books. Um, One of the funny ways I found books is I was driving home, and I was driving by my son's school, and I found a donation bin, which typically is like for clothes. This one was for books, and it was overflowing with books. Just those things are pretty big. They're like mini houses. Or little mini dog houses, like probably about 7-8 feet tall, overflowing with books. Had to be a few thousand books inside this thing. So many books that people started leaving piles of books on the side of it. If you go back and look at some of my videos, you'll see a video I did on this. Anyway, it had been sitting there for months, so I decided one day to scan everything, and I scanned those books, and there had to be at least, I think it was around $600 in profit that I found in the books, maybe a little less. I don't know. Long story short, is I ended up grabbing a stack of the books that scanned well, sent them to Amazon, and made $400 off of books I found by a book thing. And I know that school ended up having that container removed. I don't even know whatever happened to all those books. I would have loved to have all those books. But finding free books is a great way to find books. So after my conversation with my student, I literally jumped on my Facebook, literally created a Facebook marketplace page ad. Who knows if it'll work? I've heard it before, by simply putting out an ad that you offer a service of picking up books, picking up libraries of books. You can haul the way up to 500 or 1,000 books at any time, that you'll provide boxes, that you'll carry them out, that you'll pick them up. It's a free service. whatever you want to do to bullet point that ad. I threw a couple of ads up on Facebook Marketplace. I'll leave them up there and let's see what kind of response I get from those. I've also done a searches on Facebook Marketplace. Obviously, if you search Facebook Marketplace every day, every morning, like the stock market, wake up, the first thing you do is you search it before everybody else. You can find a lot of free inventory on Facebook Marketplace, and if you're willing to drive and hustle and grab inventory from places, a lot of these places, especially in my city in Vancouver, a lot of the wealth here, they don't care about reselling or anything like that. And they have libraries, extensive libraries of self-help books and motivational books and, you name it, cookbooks, you name it, and are willing, if anybody wants to pick them up. I remember when I was, probably in my 20s, taking my younger kids trick or treating. So this is probably like when they were 10. It's probably 2010 or so. So I was probably in my 30s, or definitely in my 30s, 35, and I was taking my kids trick or treating, and I remember one of the houses in the garage had like a dozen, half a dozen, at least 6 or 7 boxes filled with self-help books. I'm talking originals like Think and Grow Rich, and like original titles, like in mint condition, but old used stuff, boxes and boxes of them. And I remember at that time I was actually in another business, and part of that business model was to read. Reading was a huge thing. So I was into reading big time then. Like I was reading 5 to 10 titles all together at any given time. I was a reader, so I was getting through 10 titles a month or more than that half the time. But I remember that asking that guy what is he doing with those books, and I remember him saying, "Look, if you want some, just take whatever ones you want." So I mean, not that you would roam yard to yard. Smash that like button before you go. Not that you roam yard to yard stealing people's books or anything like that, but there are so many people giving away books that you can find free titles, no problem. And if you're willing to drive to these locations, then go grab them. Go grab them, and that can be a great way to grab easy books. I'm not an expert on library sales or anything like that, but I heard library sales are another great place to source books. However many sellers are doing that, I don't know. I know thrift stores are a great place to do it. I know Reezy said that you literally could buy from fulfillment by merchant sellers on Amazon and then resend those books to Amazon. Um, so there's lots of strategies on sourcing books. And then obviously every used bookstore around your city is going to have lots of books. Now, whether they're sellers on Amazon or not, they probably don't do fulfillment by Amazon. They probably do fulfillment by merchant, being that they're a bookstore. So you would have a leg up on that competition. But you might also be able um, to find a lot of books through those means. Awesome. Thanks for smashing that like button. Smash it again. Smash it. So, what else would I say about book selling is that it really honestly is consistent income for people who are just looking to make some side money. What is up, Nicole? Um, Give me a second. I'm going to go back here for a sec on the chat. Um, Montreal, Anidza, awesome. Scout, yeah, we talked about Scoutly Online, not the database. Not send yet my books. I have a friend with experience. Awesome. Nicole, feed the beast. That's the truth. At the end of the day, you got to pile books in Amazon. You got to grow your inventory, and the grass system that I'm always talking about. Grass, grow your inventory, run your auto pricer, advertise. You can't advertise books on Amazon, but you can certainly do it other ways if you want. You have to figure that out. Swim, sell what's moving. More challenging with books, but you'll probably find better niches, better genres of books than others that work or are more popular than others, like textbook industry, like cookbooks, like celebrity books. Personally, I find better. So when I see them, I scan them. I know they're more popular. Then there's obviously new books are trendy. Um, and then scan everything. Scan everything. So grass, grow your inventory, run your auto pricer, advertise, swim, source what is moving, and then scan everything. Applies to any and every type of selling. Feed the Beast. Anita says, thanks. I will send my inventory of books this week. Right on. Let us know how you do. I'll jump on live again as soon as I can. Nicole says, free book pickups are a great workout. I love that. I've had a little luck in getting more than minimum wage from my time. Awesome. Um, Ghost Recon, how much you need on your inventory to start seeing sales? When I first did my initial book arbitrage, or whatever you want to call it, where I just took stuff from my home, I mean, it was that week. It was the week that my products arrived at Amazon. I probably had sent in 30 books, and I think 5 sold within that week. Some sold maybe $5, some sold maybe $3, a couple sold maybe 7, and I think one sold maybe 10. I literally can remember it because it was like literally my first paycheck was based on that, and it was like a few other items that I had gotten from a dollar store. Um, yeah, I mean, whatever you send in, as long as you're scanning it and it's as low as you can get the numbers, but yet more profitable than anything, you're gonna make money. You're gonna get sales. The books do have to have popularity, and there is a time for every book, and you do have to apply other strategies like running your automator, making sure that you're priced to compete. If you're going to compete for the buy box, if you're just going to leave it in the used at a price based on the sale of your book, I don't know how well that strategy works to price your book based on the condition and try to make a little bit more profit. I don't know how that strategy works. I don't know if it's always going to be about the lowest price wins kind of thing. I'll test it with the 100 books I'm going to throw out. I'll test it. I'll leave some price a little bit higher with, with better conditions. It'll depend. Obviously, it's going to always depend on the inventory that you're selling. But at the end of the day, if your strategy is just to price it the best, then run your auto pricer and just let your inventory move. Ghost Recon, if you have saleable books, you will see sales fast. Like Chris says, within the week. Know your ranks for the platform you're selling on. Yeah, I agree. I mean, ranks are going to play a huge part. I mean, I always say this: the lower the rank, the lower the profit. A lot of the ranks that are low, it's like it's like anything. A rank is essentially the spot on the charts, the billboard charts. So first place is the lowest. 100th place is a little bit higher. 1,000 is higher than that. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. I started literally selling new books at 500,000, and you quickly learn that you can find books that are in the 200,000 rank just as fast as you can find books that are 500,000 rank. So don't settle. I settled. Inventory does move at the higher ranks. Don't worry about it not moving, but don't invest a lot of capital in higher ranked books. I like to have at least one copy of our books if they're above if they're up to 500,000. I like to have at least one copy. Now that's for new. Used, my mindset is going to be 200,000 or less. But then it's going to play a part on profitability. If there's margin and there's history on that book being sold and there's showed some profit, and I'm like, and the book just says, look, this probably is going to sell for $40. It's popular. I could see it selling for $40. Then, I would probably shoot for that inventory. Nicole, who does a lot of volume, under 10K rank in books on .ca is just stupid, unpredictable. The price fluctuates like crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. The lower the rank, the profit's probably not there a lot of the time. I'll give you an example. I picked up an inventory on books recently, new books. Again, I don't do used yet, but we will get that going this week. The rank was 50,000, and that was last week. This week, the rank dropped to 6,000. The price on the book is $47 is what it's selling for new. I was able to source it for $17. So I sourced 30 units. I was able to buy 30 units. Uh, so I bought 30 units, shipped it in within the same day. It's arrived at Amazon. We've already sold 5 titles. Okay, so just to give you an idea. Um, and that was just off of that one shipment. You're gonna, yeah, I'm not coming out to Abbotsford to source books. But hey, maybe we can hook up one of these days. Like we said, we would do a meetup. Let's I always say that, let's plan our meetup. Yeah, man, definitely. I have to come out to the Langley area. I know you come out all the way here. I'm always in Burnaby, so um, yeah. So what else did I say I was going to talk about in this video? Profitability. What could you get your money up to if you were selling on Amazon? If you were starting your book business? If you were focus, I'll give you my experience. If you were to focus on new, and you were to get up to 500 titles, you could easily make $100 um, a day with your book sales. That's 500 titles. The most I spend on new books, obviously, for most people who know the type of seller I am, the most I spend on new books is $5.99. Is the most I spend on new books, and that's because $6 books I'm usually finding at like Save on Foods or Walmart or um, Superstore. That's the other thing we'll talk about quickly is places you can buy your books. But those are places I can get a lot of new books that are they're just clearing out, and I'll my litmus test is pretty stingent. Is that the word, stingent? I'll make I try to make sure that book is in mint condition, not even opened condition, if I'm gonna list it new. Now people talk about that black dot on the bottom. In my 2 years experience of selling books with that black dot on the bottom as new, I have yet to have a complaint. Do I recommend other sellers sell it or list it as new? Does Amazon? No and no. I won't recommend other people do it because I don't want you to jeopardize your business. I want you to take the risks that you feel you would take in order to make money selling on Amazon. When I was new, I did it all the time, and I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books with the little mark on the bottom, whatever that mark is called. I learn it and forget it every day. Today, I do I source a lot less of those style of books with that mark because my business is a lot bigger, and so I reduce my risk. I don't need to source those, or if I do, then I would list them as used, but I still do. Again, I'll look at the book and judge it more on, would the consumer be concerned when they buy that book, and a lot of times I that's what I base my sourcing on. So just keep that in mind. In my new business, that's what I do. When I'm listing books that I'm buying from stores and reselling on Amazon as new, that's what I do. To this day, knock on wood, I I've never been challenged. I think actually I've been challenged one time where a customer lodged a complaint. It and I think I had one customer email me, not that they emailed me the concern of the condition of the book, and it wasn't about the dot. It was just more about the overall condition. They didn't feel it was new, and that was a concern. And I just refunded them their money direct and said keep the book. Apologized, and I'm in my business. I'm an expert in customer service. I've been an expert in customer service for 25 years, so I'm actually a professional when it comes to giving people customer service. I know exactly what to tell people and exactly how to turn a person from negative to positive and all those strategies. That's just what I do out of experience. So customer service is, like Jeff Bezos says, the foundation of Amazon. So even if you're selling books and you're shipping inventory out, and no matter what condition it is, you're always going to get people who are going to send you a message and ask you, get good at customer service, learn customer service, become proficient at it, and become exemplary at helping people, you know, and addressing their concerns and winning them over, you know, so that they're, you know, your customer for a long period of time. And you can, there's so many, I could do a whole video on customer service, which I might do. But yeah, so you really, I've those dots don't matter to me. They didn't matter to me in the beginning, a little bit more now. But if that book is in mint condition, I just send them off. And I've not heard a peep from Amazon when it comes to that. Um, what other thing about books would people want to know? Nicole, yeah, you can come to my city. If you come to my city, just tell me the date. Let's make a plan. Let's meet up somewhere and let's have some lunch. Lunch will be on me, and we'll chat. We'll chat about used books because I've not done used books. Not that I wouldn't know how to do it, but I'd love to like see like a scanner up close, other than on a video. I don't want to just order one from Amazon. I gotta go watch videos on them to see which one. But there was a great recommendation. I've already forgot. It's called a Nevada or what was it called? Anidza, what was it called? It was called a a Nadamo scanner, and Scoutly. Nicole, do you use Scoutly? I have a few scanners you can look at. Yay! Cool. Bring them with you. Sell me one of them. Tell me which one you would you would you would let me try. Yay! And then you use Scoutly, and what are the benefits of Scoutly? So when I watch videos, it obviously shows multiple FBA sellers, multiple FBM sellers, multiple pricing. It gives you the profit that you would make. It's very, you know, it's very the the platform isn't nice. I mean, as far as how it looks, not really. It's very like Excel spreadsheet looking. The biggest benefit is the triggers. Nice. Now the triggers on Scoutly or on the actual device, the scanner itself. Obviously, it's like how fast you can scan. Obviously, that you can scan. If Rome the Roamer can scan 10,000 books in a day, I could never do that with Amazon, with the Amazon Seller Central app. But with Scoutly, I also understand there's maybe a little bit of an indicator of if the book is a good buy or if you should pass on it or stuff like that. You can set it the way you want. It then just dings if it's a good book. Oh, that's very cool. So you set your books and it just alerts you if the book is good. So literally it's like the green light of book scanning tools. Literally sounds when you pass a good alert you like that. I can scan 1,000 books in an hour. That's incredible. You literally set those books up and just run the scanner, and then it triggers when you've passed good books. Now, in an hour, if you scanned 1,000 books, what would be your percentage of fines? Like on 1,000, is it 5%, 50? Would that be like good? It would be faster if we had database here on the .ca. What's that? 5% is good, yeah. So 50 books out of every 1,000, which is still, I mean, and profit wise, what are you looking for? Are you looking for $10? Are you looking for $5? Are you looking for a buck? What would keep you happy? I mean, I always say in retail arbitrage, start big, but be happy with a buck. You know, like be happy if it sells and you made a buck, but obviously start with products that will make you like 5, 10 bucks a flip. Depends on the rank. So you base it based on ranks, the profit. So lower the rank, obviously skinnier the margins. Higher the rank, obviously you're looking for, you know, a home run if you're going to spread yourself thin with a higher rank. So if you're going to go over, what's your, you know, I hate this question, but do you have a rank line like 200K, like 500K, like me, crazy? You know, now I float under 300K a lot of the times, but I go over all the time if the profit's there. And I always like to select at least one title when it gets up there, depending on the niche. So there's a lot of factors, of course. Those will be gained by sellers. New sellers will gain all the experience as they make mistakes. And the mistakes you make is you just might buy too much inventory, or you might buy inventory and doesn't sell for 6 months or a year, and now you incur some storage fees from Amazon, and you got to make a decision if you want to drop the, recall the books or dump the books or whatever. Those are decisions you have to make as a seller. But ultimately, I mean, those experiences are valuable. But I mean, all these things depend on the rank. But profit wise, Nicole, like, do you often see $10 a sale profit when you're selling a used book that you have in your inventory? Because the common theme for sellers is $10, make $10, sell 300 units a month, you're making 3 grand a month. 300K is my normal cap. 300 to 500, you'll look at Keepa, see how many sales in the year, profits is there, and you'll buy. Yeah. I mean, that's just the same. So those are the same fundamentals that, anyone would do a retail arbitrage business if they were buying toys. Now, toys, obviously, for my cap with toys is 100,000, but I've been known to buy Bob the Builder toys at 150,000 rank because they know they'll sell, they'll be more profitable. I'll make $10 a flip. I can leverage it with a ad. I can run PPC and leverage it that way. There's a lot of ways I can leverage it. Books, I have to learn how or if there's a way to leverage books. I'd probably use like affiliate marketing. I'd probably do some sort of book blog and link in affiliates to some book sales. I'd probably do some recommendations. All time consuming, but and I'd probably have to study some sellers to see how they are able to advertise and leverage their book sales. I was aiming for $10, but they go down over time, which is of course the case. I mean, as you start with 10, the profit just drops eventually, and sometimes you have to unload that book for 3 because the competition grows and they're undercutting your price, and there's no etiquette sometimes between sellers. Some sellers I see etiquette all the time. I'm like, wow, that's just good to see 5 sellers sharing the buy box, and they're just rotating through sales, and the sales are decent or whatever. But at the end of the day, like a good waiter or waitress, you have to be great at your business, but you also got to rotate those tables in order to make money. So if they're only there to buy drinks, or you're only going to make a buck, or you're not going to make any money on that tip, no point in waiting. Just get the process to move quicker while giving great customer service, obviously. So drop that price and move on. Nicole has found a good chunk of inventory that is over 6 months old, so my repricer gets more aggressive at that age. That's great. Now, one last question. Do you use Amazon's repricer, or do you use a third-party repricer? And if it's a third-party repricer, what third-party repricer do you use? Because there are obviously different options out there. A lot of people probably just set up their Amazon one. I'd probably recommend Amazon for new sellers up at the beginning until they